The restoration of Israel. This is Velma Blann. I'm finishing the book of Joel, chapter 3. The restoration of Israel. For behold, in those days and in that time when I shall bring again the captivity of Judah and Jerusalem. So God wants to bring again the captivity of Judah and Jerusalem. So I wonder why he wants to bring together the captivity. Captivity means to put someone into chains. So to restore Israel in those days and in that time when I shall bring together the captivity of Judah and Jerusalem. So the restoration of Israel is to, I guess, get everybody together and to make changes for the betterment of Judah and Jerusalem. I will also gather all nations, and I will bring them down into the valley of Jehoshaphat, and will plead with them there for my people and for my heritage, Israel, whom they have scattered among the nations and parted my land. So this is something that is going on right now. If you have a leader that doesn't have a sense of humor to stop yelling and screaming and acting like an animal and like a devil, how is it that you're going to ever get anyone to follow the true traditions of what Jesus had shown them years earlier? And now today we still have people yelling and screaming and crazy, and they got one person mouth big, wide open. That's a devil. If you follow the devil, how is it that you're going to ever get God to come to your aid? That is a question that many people need to ask themselves. Who am I following? Am I following someone that's unreasonable, that doesn't compromise, that doesn't know that you have rights, I have rights, she has rights, he has rights? If you think that you're the only person that have rights and forget everybody else, why does anyone need to talk to you? Why are you out there protesting? Because you're going to get shot in the head and killed just like the rest of them out there. Because you do not know how to go and get out the way when the police tell you to leave. You're just another dead body because you're following a fool out there yelling and screaming. Rah, 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 rah. That's the only person that's out there yelling and screaming. You're following a fool. Why aren't you following someone with common sense that understands things? You can't follow somebody that has a one-sidedness to them. They're condescending and they think that on their way is right. Who is that person? So as we're saying here, in the restoration of Israel, do you want to restore Israel? In order to restore Israel, then we need to come to an agreement. And if no one negotiates, why are you there? Why, if you don't want to go negotiate? You mean to tell me that this person thinks that because they are homeless, in which they didn't go to work, they didn't take care of their kids, they beat up their wives, do not buy food for her, and she has 2 or 3 kids. Now she has to bring herself down to the lowest end and maybe go sleep with somebody's husband around the corner to bring, $25 worth of grocery in the house for the night. Because the head of the household, the husband or the boyfriend that gave her those kids, or beating her up, alcoholic, drinking, and talking trash, playing cards, gambling up every little dollar they make, thinks that somebody's supposed to listen to him. And you got people that's out there doing these things. How is it that you're going to get help if you're not helping? If you're not changeable, you need to change your evil, wicked ways. You don't get anything by yelling and screaming and acting crazy. All you're going to get is a bunch of air pellets or gun pellets. You're going to get fire bombs and smoke bombs in a gun. that you have in your hand, you're going to get shot and killed. Because the police officers are licensed to kill. They are the ones that control the city. You are in their city, raising hell. And it asks you to leave, and you're going to protest, but you never sent anything to city council about what you disagree with. What is it that's important to disagree with about? Who are you defiant about? Who is it that you hate so much? How is it that anyone is going to help you if you have so much hate in your heart? Why would I want to help you if you hate everybody? You couldn't get anything out of me being like that. You need to settle down and write down your problems. Everybody get together and choose somebody to lead your group that has calm in their nervous system. Because a person that you're following out there that doesn't have any common sense at all, that's been out there longer than need to be, making noise about somebody else's life that decided to go ahead and do something to help themselves because they're overqualified or no one likes them and they can't get a job. So now we have people, why this, why that. And the same thing is going on right now in Israel, in Iraq, in Iran, in Egypt. Those people are fighting it now. North Korea, I think they're fighting. You've been fighting in America all your life. Practically black Americans has been fighting for equal rights. They've been given jobs. And the Martin Luther King, he wrote a dissertation on how to help. He was a civil rights leader on how to help everybody, every person of color, to receive equal rights, equal housing, to be able to ride a bus without being told to go on the back, to be able to get jobs in the railroad, to be able to get housing. You know, all of these things that he's done. He's even went out there and stuck his neck out and got arrested. He fought for a cause. What are you doing? Did you go talk to Al Sharpton? Al Sharpton went out there and did similar things as Martin Luther King, as I recall. He stuck his neck out. He ran for president. He did, who else? Reggie Jackson. Where are all these people? Why aren't you trying to get training from Al Sharpton and the rest of them? Because they're aging and they're not going to be here forever. And see, what is it that they did? How did they get across those barriers? If you don't want Velma Blann to that earned a doctorate degree and she's trying to follow through with her preps to get her dissertation attainment to get published. If you don't want somebody that doesn't have a criminal record that was set up and all kind of stuff over the past year, that's clean as a whistle, don't have a prostitute record or nothing. You're out here trying to find private YouTube pictures of me that I might have taken in the privacy of my home for my boyfriend and hack my computer and get nude pictures and post them on Facebook. And you think I want to help you? What we have here going on here is that Israel, okay, has 12 different tribes. And these tribes, 12,000 people already, they don't even speak, they have to say anything. Because they were persecuted, God has already put the seal of the Lord on her, the seal of God all across their heads. They don't have to worry about anything. So what we need to do is to find out why are we so angry? Why we can't listen to other people speaking and why we got to hear an F word when someone's trying to explain to you. You're asking them questions. But then when they try to answer you, now you F you. Well, what you coming over here for then if you don't want to have an answer? You just want to be mean and hateful and kill somebody? Well, then let everybody just go kill everybody. Because what I saw today because if you're the type of person that doesn't want to find a reason, find calm in your environment. You just want to be out there like a crackhead yelling and screaming, or be out there like somebody with a college degree yelling and screaming, and you're out here doing all these things to try to hurt everybody because you can't pass exams like everybody else. Why are you out there if you don't want anybody to help you? What are you out there for? Making noise for? You're disturbing the peace. We have working class people around here need to get up. We got children and babies. You even have babies, fetuses inside of women's bodies. And you got voice trackers, body scanners. You have all these electromagnetic wave, frequency wave, all kind of crazy things, Skype, iPhone, iPad, Android Plus, with these two-way radio frequency, and everybody is on Skype, direct TV. There's too much X-ray rad traveling through this community. You are killing yourself and you're giving yourself cancer. You need to take your behind to the hospital and get it checked. Because no one needs to hear that noise. Who told you that someone needs to tolerate that? I donate to different organizations. If I have the Amnesty International on my door with my address, that's because it's through the Disabled American Veterans sent that to me with my address. You are some nosy neighbors. You going around looking at what I got on my doorknob where you press the doorbell, Amnesty International. And then you get angry because nobody want to give you reparation. Why do you need that reparation? Did you suffer in slavery? Did you get lynched? Do you have proof? No, you chose to be called black. Are you an African? When did they lynch you? When did they suffer you? What did you suffer from? We need to go back on history. We need to go back about 100 years. I know my paternal grandparents, and that's where my genes are. That's where my bloodstream is. I don't care if I am mixed with black and mixed with this and mixed with that. Just about every black person in America has a different race mix, because you know the story. But what I'm saying is how are you going to prove that somebody in your family suffered with discrimination and all these things? We need to go back to the 1950s, where you were part of the movement. Why they didn't have anything? Don't you know why they gave you all these equal and civil rights? Because they wasn't going to give you reparation. That's why you got your rights. Because they're already, the lawmakers, which were the nationals at the time, they were the ones that said that you were free unless you commit a crime. Now, that sounded pretty fair. But then now we got the same people that's trying to set me up to not get my committee together so I can be successful with my dissertation that's already submitted, are out there arguing and fussing that they're not getting a reparation, but you're trying to set me up for failure. And the same segregation parties back whence set you up with that Jim Crow law that you cannot be free anyway, no matter what. Because all we got to do is set you up and set you, pull a gun and boom. But why are you out there? Why not you in the after school program? I went to after school programs. As soon as I got out of the after school program, some tall giant female that I thought she and I were friends. I used to go to her house. She used to come to my house. We used to be outside playing kickball, softball, everybody having fun. But somebody told her a lie. Because I don't know what lie they told her. That I was sleeping with a boyfriend, and I was a virgin back then. I was raped when I was 13. I was a virgin. Never told anybody, because I said that I was with the boy and I was kissing him and holding his hand, and I shouldn't have been there. I had enough common sense to say that, than to go and cry and holler and scream, rape. You put yourself there, Velma. You should have went home like everybody else, kissing the guy behind the tree. I take responsibilities for my own actions. Why don't you? So if you were told that you were free unless you committed a crime, and all of a sudden you coming home from your job, and the white man back then that was considered the Klan say, "What are you doing, boy? Don't you know it's 6 p.m.? You weren't supposed to be passing by here this time. Don't you know the rules is that a nigger supposed to be through here before dark?" And then what happened? You committed a crime. Now, I want all of it because you didn't get home before dark. So that's how the laws used to be. Imagine who had to deal with that. Now, you black people, and I'm black too now, that's out there talking about me, you have not suffered anything in comparison to those who were born in the 1900s, and we got some people probably born in the 1930s are still alive right now. They're not talking, they're not saying anything to you. They're not explaining anything to you. They didn't tell you anything because they don't want my children to know that I went through all that. We're going to keep it quiet. Because you set me up to get Baker-Act and all this stuff, and I am a psychologist, and try to make me look like a piece of crap around here. But back in 1950s and 60s, when you didn't get home before dark, and when you got pulled over, that was a crime, because you're supposed to not come through here or be home by dark. So that's how the laws, Jim Crow laws were. And if you did, lo and behold, Lord forbid, if you met somebody that one of the mountain men's, they didn't care. You knew the rules. But then what happened? You knew the rules. You know the rules. You know the rules. So what you bothering me for? I know the rules too. You think I'm going to let you talk to me any kind of way and I don't talk back? I'm not a politician. I am an independent and I am a Democrat. And I was asked to be a representative of Florida, and I looked at the thing and tore it up. I don't have time for this. I'm too busy. I got to keep my money rolling in. We're talking about loans. I don't work. What do I need to go out there and represent you for, and you're out here trying to say I'm a prostitute, and I'm not a prostitute? What I want to go and help you for? You need to go and get yourself in an after-school program like I did. Because when I was coming home and my Aunt Liz May went through hell to raise me, and I worked jobs after school and didn't have a ride home, had to come home. My job was 3 to 11, and I got to school at 12 because I was in my last year of high school. And then I had to go home, shower, and catch the bus to my job on Hallandale Beach Boulevard and Federal Highway at Chicken Unlimited. That's a long ways from Daniel. And then 11 o'clock, I was supposed to have a boyfriend. He didn't even come pick me up half the time. But he came to get some fried chicken. Because we used to throw chicken away in the restaurant. If you caught giving chicken away to somebody, you get fired. But I used to ask, is it okay? My friends are out there, they're hungry. Could I give them this chicken? And sometimes they said yes, and sometimes they said no. And then I would go to the window and make up a story that we don't have any chicken. So what I'm saying to you is that nobody never gave me anything but life. My parents gave me life, but they didn't support me. 10th grader working to buy her own school clothes and everything. And you out here yelling and screaming at me like I'm a retard? Who gave you that right? You don't go up in my criminal record and whatever records I had on my background and go and put it all over the place and it wasn't a criminal record. I was set up just like everybody else is set up, and now it's clean up and straightened out. I moved on. I didn't stop me from going nowhere. I still went to work and found me a job. Why are you up in my business? Why are you up in my business? You out there yelling and screaming and stuff and got police department on blast and bothering with me. I'm not going anywhere. This is my condo. I am an African American. I own it. My credit got it. And my husband died, and God forbid that I have to leave here fighting to kill somebody and die over some stupid ghetto nigger stuff. Because one thing I do not like is niggardly behavior. I do not like it. You want me to speak on behalf of you? I said, no, I don't want to do it right now. Because everybody turned against me because I want to be a college graduate. Because I want to better myself. Well, why didn't you go? You live in the same neighborhood. Why you went out there and stood on the corner and a prostitute and carrying on and laughing at me going to work? And then when you catch your AIDS, you want to say I brought it to you? You want to say I gave it to you? I don't sleep with you. A woman cannot give another woman AIDS. Who you slept with and got that AIDS from? You didn't get it from me or my boyfriend. You need to stop lying and take your dumb behinds to school. And I'm going to tell you like you tell me. The same nasty behavior. I do not kiss anybody's behind. Now what we got going on right now in this Bible is the same thing we got going on right now today. You think making hell raising and stuff and bothering these police around here. Them police will blow your brains out. They got wives and children to go home to. I don't want no police come knocking on my door because I don't like them because they hostile. Why you got these police coming knocking on my door? What I did to the police? I'm not a criminal. What you sending police to my door for? You stupid fool. And then you're going to want me to represent you? Are you losing your mind? I done got to the point where I don't care if you get reparation. Because there isn't no reparation. Because the same people that's standing up there, Al Sharpton, Reggie Jackson, all those people, they should have applied for your flipping reparation. Because they didn't know the laws was made then. You had proof then that things was jumping down. But instead of getting your reparation, what did you get? You get your African American Civil Rights Amendment 7. And what happened? All of your islanders got their lawyers together and read it and manipulated and went and swam through those loopholes. And they started flying over here. And where did they go first? They went to London first, educated themselves as nurses, as doctors, as lawyers, as realtors. Then what did they do? Because they were under the Queen, they went straight to New York. And when they got to New York, what did they do? They built their franchises, their business, restaurants, everything. That's what the islanders did, Black Americans. When are you going to do the same thing? I am 57 years old and I'm just now trying to come up off the ground. I wish I had done it sooner, but I was caught up in the same thing you were caught up in. Promiscuity and being stupid and misled by men. And now that I decided to move away from that, you yelling and screaming at me, and you're nothing but prostitute whores and the strippers? My God here is in this Bible. That's my God. And no whore and no pimp is not my God. And anytime you feel froggy, like I said, don't come here when I'm asleep. Come here when I'm wide awake, because usually I don't go to sleep until the next day. And it's none of your business if I haven't slept in 3 days. Don't send no crazy cop at my door talking about I didn't have slept in 3 days. That's my business. That's my business, what I do. I go out the door, I walk my dog, I come in the house, that's my business. I don't have any friends enough, that's my business. I don't give you and share my food with you. That's my business. Because did you share your food with me when I was unemployed around here? Did you help me get a job? No. You was around here going to work every day. And you didn't even knock on my door and say, Velma, they hiring on my job. Are you still looking for a job? You knew I was unemployed. You are some selfish, conniving people. And you're around here blaming the police and everybody. Those police officers are out there. Their lives in danger just like mine are here. I'm not worried about the police officers. They got guns and everything. I don't have a gun. They got guns. Why are you worrying about the police? Calling the police. Paul over here messing with me about some old stupid lie about I cut my wires. It's my house. It's my house. If I want to cut my wires in here to keep that water from setting it on fire, they don't have no right to come in here and tell me my own property if I cut my wires to keep your water from coming from upstairs, that you set up your hot water heater to come down on my property because you want her to move. You racist black woman. You have no right to do that to me. I paid a lot of money to get this condo along with my husband, and he died 3 years when we purchased. I've been here 5 years longer, and believe me, this place is not cheap to stay here. I have an $820 a month mortgage fixed. And you have no right to try to come here and make a lie with the police to kick me out of my house. Y'all must be wanting somebody to get killed around here. I'm not playing with you. You better take your uneducated behinds that's deranged to think you can come here and run me out of my house to school. Because obviously you do not know what's going on in the world. You are messing with somebody's life. You don't make up a lie and Baker at somebody and then I get a form come here. I got the right to state attorney and all these people to straighten it out. and your dumb behinds in the collection department that's got a job making about $15 an hour plus commission doesn't even know how to send something to medical legal department with your dumb behind. How you get hired? Who hired your dumb behind? You need to get your behinds in check. Because do not think because I am studying at Nova Southeastern University, which is not God, that I pay every 3 months a lot of money to teach me. Do not think that I'm going to act like a retard and don't talk back to you. Because you need to go and get yourself in an after-school program and stop breaking and entering these paper places. Because that dissertation that I wrote was nothing but law enforcement crime index of Fort Lauderdale, which is Broward, Dade, and Palm Beach. And I didn't put all that information in there. And as a doctorate student, I can choose that topic if I want to. I have to ask the police permission for nothing. And when I went through all those files, everything that I did under Wolfram Afro came out to 88.91%. And that's exactly where your behinds are in crimes with Lauderdale Lakes and Lauderhill. Put together is 97. We got 89 in Lauderhill. And you got 69% crimes over here. And I said to remove the 60 and put the 9 because you already got the same crimes in Lauderhill. And you going to come over here and try to get me arrested and thrown in jail and I'm not bothering anybody? These men are not married to me. I was married. My husband died of cancer. I wasn't supposed to come back to America. I am a native here and I left this place because there's too much racism. And I was in London. I wasn't coming back here. My husband asked me to come back here. Soon as I come back, my own family, my brother that can't stay out of jail, robbed me, stole all my stuff out of my house. And you hate me? You hate me? What's wrong with you? What's wrong with you? I'm your sister. Your only blood left. And you hate me because you on drugs and you in jail. I didn't send you there.